That's it. That's the border. We're in. Easy peasy. Welcome to Guatemala.
Shortly after entering the country, we get to fix our first flat before we continue on into the hot and humid countryside. There are no official campgrounds along our route. Instead, we discover a few beautiful balnearios, where locals bathe and wash their clothes in the rivers, and where we get to pitch our tent.
Weather being as crappy as it is, and this is our 7th day of, well, we've done 7 days straight of cycling. Pouring down rain yesterday, and today we woke up, it's pouring down rain. We decided just to stay right here where we're at. We're under some shelter. It's not ideal, but it's good. And then we went into town to get water. On our way back, the lady right here where you come into this little park here handed us 4 of these wrapped in leaves. I took it out of the leaf already. So it's breakfast. I just tried heating it up on the stove though, because they were cold. They were warm, but yeah, it's not bad. Pretty poor here. Going into town, we really got to look in the huts. Straight up dirt floors. It's pretty bad. So, but the people seem pretty welcoming in this little village. Like yesterday we came in, it was freaking pouring. I mean, it was coming down hard. And some of the people, as we're coming down the gravel road or dirt road, trying to wave us in underneath their shelters, but we knew we had to get back here to the camp spot. And then this morning, everybody was, yeah, hello, and pretty good. Some of the towns we've gone through so far, kind of hit or miss, you know? I don't know if it's more that we're kind of shocked, that they're kind of surprised to see us. I know we're not the only cycle tourists that come this way, but it's definitely not a major route for cycle touring, I don't believe. I think the most popular way is down south along the border of Mexico and Guatemala, and they go straight to Lake Atilan and then over to Antigua, which is along the coast, which is where we're headed. We're coming right down through the middle from the top. So this is going to probably be some of the hardest cycling we've ever done. Yeah. But anyway, it's all good. We'll make it.
Cycling from northern Guatemala was not easy. Besides climbing the ridiculously long and steep mountain roads, we also have more difficulty communicating, as most people in the small villages still speak Mayan dialects. However, after several days of cycling further south, the vibe changes and people appear more warm and welcoming. And we are no longer greeted with "Gringo, gringo" 1,000 times a day. When we finally arrive at Lake Atitlan, we take a small ferry boat across the lake to one of the most relaxing campgrounds we have ever encountered.
Beautiful campground, but it's raining outside, so we're still stuck inside the tent here.
But it is a beautiful campground.
Yeah, we'll show you the campground. Don't worry. You see that back there? Up there? That's where we're going tomorrow.
Oh, that's right. Right. I think right about there.
There's the volcano
It's the volcano. We're hiking up to that tomorrow. Well, we're hiking on the mountain,
in front
or the
of it.
former volcano that's beside it, and then we'll overlook that one. Praying for clear skies tomorrow. So, yeah, here we are. We're in Antigua. We were supposed to have left Lake Atilan, where we've been staying for a week now, and start our trip to El Salvador, but yesterday we got lucky and scored 2 open spots for the hike. An overnight hike up on in
Acatengo.
I can't remember that word to save my life. So we grabbed them, and then that was yesterday, and then this morning we grabbed a shuttle. Left all of our gear, our tent still set up and everything back there in Pierre's place there on the lake. So, but yeah, we're on top now. We're in this really cute hotel, and he told us about coming up on his roof and then to look around up here, and he wasn't lying, man. This is pretty. So hope you enjoyed it. I showed you around. Yeah, this is pretty nice. Tell you, man, Guatemala started out rough on us. Definitely had mixed feelings about it, but after arriving down there on the lake, would you agree?
Yeah,
It was like recharged our bodies. Yeah, I mean, I was ready to give it up here, to be honest with you, but I'm glad we stuck it out. It's definitely a different vibe down here. So, but anyway, it's all good. So we're gonna sit up here and just admire the sunset, and then we'll go back down to our room. See you tomorrow as we're trekking up that hill over there. Little bump on the ground. See ya.
Hey.
When are you gonna start hiking here? Let's go, woman.
It's not easy having all that weight on your bicycle.
So he says we're 75 feet or 75% done. You okay?
Oh, 75, really?
That's what he says. Yeah, we're almost
I
done.
thought you said 25.
75. We got 25 left.
Oh, well, that makes me feel better.
Yep.
Lunch for champions.
After our overnight hike to see the volcano, we catch the next shuttle back to our campsite at Lake Atitlan, and in the morning we pack up our bikes to continue our adventure. To avoid being robbed along the well-known Bandido highway that leads around the San Pedro volcano, we decide to cycle to the village San Pedro. From there, we take a boat to Santiago Atitlan to make it around the lake and to continue on towards the coast.
right, we haven't done an update in a few days, I don't think, a few weeks. I don't even know anymore. It's all a blur anymore. But anyway, we spent our last night on Lake Atilan in a small town, San Lucas, Guatemala. After spending already about a week and a half on the other side of the lake near San Marcos in a beautiful campground, and it was so nice. But anyway, yeah, I think we're done with the bulk of our climbing.
I hope so.
We hope so. I tell you, man, Guatemala, you delivered some ass-kicking climbing. Oh my God. Anyway,
Terrible.
yeah, and so yeah, we're currently at 5,300 feet, give or take a little bit, and we believe that's it. We're heading down towards the coast and picking up CA2 towards El Salvador. We should be there really in 2 days, unless we come across something that just catches our attention and we stick out a little longer.
Yeah.
Stick around a little longer. We do stick out. But I tell you, man, the vibe down here in the southern part is way different than what we experienced coming in from the north and through the central area. I mean, we were being called gringos like 1,000 times a day. It was just their greeting, I guess, little kids. And then one day we had some kids, probably about 7, 8 years old, throwing stuff at us. That wasn't cool. That kind of pissed us off because we were actually up a super steep climb at the same time. But anyway, that's behind us. It's all good. We're headed down the road, and we'll talk to you later, huh? Peace. Back there behind me is Guatemala border. We are now saying goodbye to Guatemala, and we're in no man's land, heading to El Salvador. Should be there in a minute or two. See ya. If you liked our video, please consider supporting our channel by rolling over that like button, subscribing, hitting the notification bell, and as always, feel free to share our videos. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.